Got some more charging network news for you, because I know you love it so much. And this time it's so important that, as you'll notice with a slightly different surroundings to the usual, I'm actually interrupting my holiday to bring it to you. Back in March, I reported that Gridserve, the electric forecourt pioneers and all-round good guys when it comes to EV, had bought a 25% share in Electric Highway, the much maligned charging network founded by Ecotricity. It was huge news at the time, and they had some big talk to match, opening a huge rapid charging hub at Rugby. They were promising to replace all of the old massively faulty, generally troublesome Ecotricity chargers across the UK motorway network by the end of summer 2021. And there was more charging hubs like Rugby to follow, as well as their ambitious electric forecourt rollout programme. Big news. News that had the power really to transform EV travel and EV ownership in the UK, if they managed to pull it off. And of course, Friday the 30th of April saw the opening of Rugby services, 12 350 kilowatt chargers and a motorway service charging exactly as it should be. I was one of the first people to visit there, and because that's the kind of super exciting life I lead. If you haven't seen the video yet, there's a link in the description. Please do check it out. Rugby's really seriously impressive. And upgrading the existing motorway charging network is well underway. We'll touch on that later in this video. They're making some good progress there as well. But the big news that you're waiting for is today's announcement. Wednesday the 9th of June, Gridserve have announced that they've actually acquired the rest of Electric Highway, so the other 75%, transferring full ownership from Ecotricity to Gridserve. Now that's huge news. Huge news, I promised you, and huge news we have. Some of you saw this coming actually. There were quite a few comments on my previous videos and on forums, on Facebook groups. People saying, yeah, I reckon 25% is just the start and I think they'll take the whole lot eventually. But I don't think anybody saw it coming today. I don't think anybody saw it coming quite so quickly, did they? Well, let's take a look at the press release from Gridserve. You'll find a link to that in the description if you'd like to have a read at it yourself. Ecotricity, the world's first green energy company, has today confirmed the sale of its pioneering Electric Highway, the world's first national charging network for electric cars, to Gridserve. The sale will enable Ecotricity to push new boundaries in its core green energy business, with innovations like Britain's first green gas mill, a revolutionary process of making natural gas for the grid simply from grass. It will also bring forward a series of solar and battery storage projects to be built without government support, whilst expanding its sky mining facility, a world first carbon capture and storage process that turns atmospheric carbon dioxide into diamonds. I'm guessing Dale Vince got a little bit bored of EVs and EV charging, did he? The Electric Highway began a decade ago and played a pivotal role in kick-starting the country's electric car revolution, enabling early adopters to drive the length and breadth of Britain when the chargers worked. In a decade, charging has leapt from 3-pin plugs and 7 kilowatt charging to the current state-of-the-art 350 kilowatt, capable of providing 100 miles of charge in around 5 minutes, while typical car range has increased from 80 miles to over 300. There's no denying that. This technical progress and rapid price convergence of new electric cars with their fossil counterparts has seen more than 500,000 plug-in cars now on UK roads, with around 7% of new vehicle sales so far in 2021 being pure electric vehicles. Many of the world's largest car manufacturers have announced dates for the final production of fossil-powered cars, and the government have put a long stop on this by announcing a ban on the sale of new petrol or diesel cars from 2030. The unlikely electric vehicle revolution that began 10 years ago will be nearing completion in only 10 more. Gridserve are ramping up investment in the Electric Highway with the replacement of all the existing chargers on the network with new technology that features all the latest advances, including contactless payment and the opening last month of the first high-power charging facility at Motor's new flagship motorway services at Rugby, featuring 12 350 kilowatt chargers. Dale Vince, OBE, founder of Ecotricity, said, "We've reached an interesting point in the electric car revolution. Exponential growth is just around the corner. The technology for charging has evolved, with one standard and an incredible rate of charging now being possible. Using an electric car is almost on par with using a fossil-powered car, where you can just top up once every week or two. And the Electric Highway needs a growth spurt to make sure it stays ahead of driver demand and continues to play its key role as the network that delivers more miles every year than any other." For this, the electric highway needs an owner with access to serious funding and real commitment to the cause. I'm delighted to have found the ideal company to hand the baton to in Gridserve. Torrington Harper, CEO Gridserve, added, "It's a real honour for Gridserve to have been chosen by Ecotricity as the organisation to take the electric highway forward in its next phase. Our purpose is to #deliver sustainable energy and move the needle on climate change, and the upgraded network will provide the confidence for millions more people to make the successful transition to electric vehicles in the earliest possible timeframes." So there you have it. Gridserve now have full control of the electric highway and full control, give or take a few exceptions, of motorway EV charging in the UK. I can't think of a better firm to grab hold of the fragmented, faulty mess and piece everything back together. They certainly seem like an energetic firm with both the drive and the resources, crucially, to make it happen. Time will tell, but I definitely think this is a good thing for EV travel in the UK. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it going to make a big impact? Are you still apprehensive? You've been burnt too many times by electric highway to be too excited. Now on to the upgrade programme. It's not gone unnoticed that work has been very much begun refreshing the existing chargers at motorway services. Quite a lot of people think that the end of summer target is a bit ambitious, perhaps not particularly achievable, but it's definitely underway. 20 sites have now had new chargers installed so far, with 18 of them confirmed live and operational. There's a long way to go, but they're definitely powering through at a rate of about 10 a week at the moment. It's good stuff, really. Voltonomics have got a map on their website showing where the confirmed upgraded locations are. There's a link in the description, you might find that useful. You can also find them on ZapMap by using the filter for Ecotricity Next Gen. I wonder if they might change the name of that fairly shortly though. The new units they're installing are either dual CCS or CCS and CHAdeMO. No sign of any AC yet, although Gridserve have stated that it is coming, so Zoe owners need not feel completely left out this time. Unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be a period of time where the AC might actually not be there. The old units are being ripped out, the new ones don't have AC, and whatever provision they're planning for AC charging haven't quite made it through yet. I don't think any of the upgraded sites have AC yet. But in better news, it looks like the DC chargers can actually charge 2 cars at a time in most of the locations. So it's a huge increase in available charging capacity. You're doubling what each unit can do, even if they are maybe sharing the grid connection. But we'll need more chargers at each site going forward, but that's a massive leap, isn't it? I've noticed some Leaf owners moaning about reducing the available CHAdeMO in favour of CCS, but I think when all's said and done, the proportion is going to be right as time goes on. Remember as well, CCS has pretty much been unavailable at most motorway services, either through poor reliability or just not being there at all. So the tables are turning a little bit. Unfortunately, what there isn't is a schedule for these replacement works. They just seem to announce every week what they've done. It's resulting in some people turning up to charge at services and finding there's just a hole in the ground where the charger used to be. It's less than ideal, that, especially if you're running very low. Hopefully Gridserve are going to address that now they've got full control, they've got the reins properly. I guess time will tell. I'll try to bring you more updates on the motorway upgrade progress as it becomes available, but for now, let me know in the comments what you think. Is this going to make you more likely to try electric highway, give them another go? Especially if you're travelling to areas where the new chargers are rolled out, obviously. Maybe it's still the old ones where you're going. You might not be so keen. But let me know what you think. I think it's all good stuff, and it really should make a big difference to travelling on the motorway, and I can't wait until you don't need to worry anymore. You turn up to a service station, the chargers are new, they're reliable, they're contactless, and they're just going to work. It's going to be amazing. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.